This is RetroPie. If you follow the Raspberry Pi at all, you're likely familiar with it. But what if you want it on the PC? Well, it does install on x86 PCs as well, but only on Ubuntu and Debian-based distros. Well, that's bothersome. I'm running Fedora. How can we get this running? Well, we could install the packages RetroArch and Emulation Station manually and go through the hassle of creating a RetroPie-like experience, but that's a lot of work, especially when the team at RetroPie has done such a great job. There's a much easier way, and I'm about to show you how to do it on Fedora and a bunch of other distros not based on Ubuntu. We're going to do it by installing it on Ubuntu in DistroBox. DistroBox is a neat tool that allows you to create and manage containerized environments on your existing Linux distribution. Yeah, nerdy stuff, right? With DistroBox, you can create an Ubuntu environment right inside Fedora. I have access to everything good about the apt package manager right here on Fedora. This means that we can install and run programs packaged for Ubuntu without any hassle. And once it's installed, it integrates seamlessly into my desktop environment. The best part? DistroBox is super easy to set up and use. In our case, we're going to use DistroBox to install RetroPie on Ubuntu running inside Fedora. This way, we get the best of both worlds, the stability and features of Fedora and the compatibility of Ubuntu for RetroPie. And if I get tired of it, I won't, but if I do, I can easily delete the container and don't have to worry about breaking anything. Alright, let's dive into the setup process. First, we'll install DistroBox and set up our Ubuntu container, and then we'll install RetroPie within that container. Ready? Let's go. Okay, so how are we going to install this? Well, first thing we're going to do is close out of the software manager because it's not in here. We'll go drop out to the terminal, and as you can see, I am running Fedora. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go directly to GitHub and get our source, and I'll leave these commands in the description below. So what we have here is we're just doing a curl to get DistroBox directly from GitHub and to install it. So let's go for that. This will probably work. I already have it installed, but I'm pretty sure it'll just work. And yeah, we are ready to go with that. Installation successful. Okay, so next we're going to do is we're going to install Podman. Podman is a Docker container manager made by Red Hat. It's essential for using DistroBox. So let's go with sudo install Podman. And this will probably tell me I already have it, but we'll go anyway. And there we go, nothing to do. I already have Podman installed, so let's move on. Okay, so we tidied stuff up a little bit on the screen, so I'm going to create a container named Ubuntu, and I'm going to use the image Ubuntu:/latest to install, and we'll just press yes, and we'll take off there. DistroBox, it created it. It downloaded and created my DistroBox. So all I got to do now is enter Ubuntu. So I'm just going to type distrobox, enter Ubuntu. And it's going to do a little bit more. This takes a little bit longer to boot the first time you do it. After that, it is pretty much instantaneous. So this is going to take another minute. So, okay. Now, since I am a stickler for having an up-to-date system, I'm going to update and upgrade my system just like I would any other Ubuntu system before I install RetroPie. This is optional, but recommended. So let's just do that. And it's saying all packages are up to date. So I think we should drop out to the command prompt here in a second. So what we're doing now is we're installing RetroPie pretty much like we'd install it on Debian and Ubuntu, using the directions directly from the RetroPie site. So it recommended doing the sudo apt update and upgrade, so we did that already. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to start copying and pasting packages into our manager here. We're going to install some Git and stuff like that. So paste that. Quick enough. Go back here. We'll get the okay. We'll git clone. This is basically grabbing the RetroPie setup. Run that. Okay. Now, since I already have it installed, it's it basically installs it, copies this to my home directory under the RetroPie-Setup. So under the folder RetroPie-Setup. So I already have this. This will copy it to your actual home directory on your computer. It's not with inside the Ubuntu. So yeah, it's totally integrated. So the next step we're going to do after we do that is we're going to run it. So and I already have it installed, so this will actually work. And oh yeah, RetroPie setup. Okay, yeah, so you get into the RetroPie setup, and then we're going to run the RetroPie setup script there. So, and this is pretty much it. Once you get this running, it will come up to a screen here in a bit. This is basically installing a bunch of packages on the Ubuntu container, and we're going to pop into the RetroPie setup here and do basic install, and we are done. So after that, we are done setting up this. I am not going to go through this. Just hit your basic install there and you're ready to go. I'm not going to go through that. Next, we want to do one more thing, and this doesn't necessarily work right. You can do distrobox export, and it will put the icon on your desktop like so, like I have it here, which will click and run, but that does not work. I'll leave my desktop icon in the description. You can try the RetroPie export, but it's not going to work. You can make a desktop icon file in your icons directory. It'll be within your home directory. If you press Control H to get hidden files, you'll see this .local folder here. You go into Share, Applications, and then what we're going to do is we're going to create RetroPie.desktop, which will give us the icon on the screen. So I'm going to open this with a text editor so you can see it. Basically what it does is it launches Emulation Station and DistroBox container. Do that as exact as she opens the GNOME terminal in full screen. It hides the menu bar, and then it runs the command distrobox-enter. My Ubuntu box, which is the one I named it. Ubuntu would be the container we created for this demonstration. And then it's going to pass the command Emulation Station to DistroBox. So now I have all that set up. All I have to do is click that, and we are in Emulation Station. I don't have my controller hooked up, so it's giving me this screen, but Yeah, so we are ready to go. And you have a great day. Bye-bye.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous.